Hi there, this is Hans Forschner with Navcon Engineering. A short introduction in SoundPLAN version 8.2. This video focuses on the Geo-Database Situation Manager. There are a number of new features that were included in the Situation Manager that really make the documentation and then also the management of projects and situations easier, and then also help review projects that you may get from your colleague or that you may get for third-party reviews. So let me get started here. So I open up the Geo-Database, and one of the things you may see here, so it's very similar to the previous version's Situation Manager, but one of the things they changed here is on the left-hand side is again the list of situations. Here you can kind of see that the situations are labeled or numbered with the numeric at the beginning. You're forcing it, of course, a certain sequence, so 01, 02 and so on, or 04, 04A. With that, you have a sequence of situations in this project. Then in the center, we now have all the time, we have all the Geo-Files, and we also have the triangles, the ground model here as files available, which is something that has been always asked for a while. So one of the things you can do here, if you have a situation with a certain digital ground model, you can now actually take it out of the situation and you move in a new different ground model, for example. All right. So this is a change in terms of the way it's handled here. So previously you couldn't do that here in the Situation Manager, and now it's available. So now, if you're in a situation here, then of course the description of the situation is here on the right hand side. If you look at the description of a Geo-file, so if a Geo-file is highlighted, then the description here on the left hand side is then for the specific Geo-file. So depending on what is highlighted, that is kind of what's in the description here. The same at the bottom right is the preview and details. The details, basically when you get these question marks, picture might be invalid. It's just the indication that the program looks at the situation, looks at all the Geo-files that are assigned to it, and maybe some situations or some Geo-files in it have been modified since this picture was created, and then it just makes a question mark. It may not be all current, so just something to realize there. Other icons up here are pretty much the same. New situation, duplicate situation or delete situation. The same here in the center. New Geo-file, duplicate Geo-file, and delete Geo-file. And then here also a restore previous file version. So if you made changes, you can still go back to a previous version of that file type. Other views is again the list view, that's what we currently have, and then a detail view where you get the file size and the date when it was changed. Now here are the interesting things in this Situation Manager. First of all, this red asterisk is a visualization of which situation are contained in, for example, in a Geo-file. Which Geo-file is in which situation. So if I click on this red asterisk and I highlight that, then for example for this building industrial zone right here, I have these 4 situations that are assigned or have assignment to this Geo-file. If I look at the residential buildings, then here we have all of these situations assigned. So again, this helps you to do a overview of kind of where are Geo-files assigned, and basically changing kind of how it's organized. So reviewing someone else's project, you can get a better idea of kind of what the organizational structure of the situations and the Geo-files are. Now the next icon here is show filter settings. So here we can turn on a filter that could be, for example, a text filter. So we filter, for example, by any mention of elevation in the file name. So here all the geo-files that have elevation in the file name will be selected, and here there's no limits in terms of the time period. So if you have changes that you want to select by time period, you can do that here. And I'll just click on the check mark. So now I have all the geo-files that have the text elevation in it. All right. So here we can see how much it filtered. So 87 files are not showing out of 96 files. All right. So here we can turn that filter off again. We can create another filter, and here we could do file name or description. So here we now need to have in the description elevation and in the file name. So with that, there's a little bit less of criteria. So actually all of them seems like the description has something in there about elevation, or one or the other, I guess. All right. Then of course the filtering can be also done by date and time. So within a certain time period what has changed, and then here we can go show only geo-files that are not assigned to any situation or that are assigned to all situations. So with that, again, there's a different filter that could be used to filter down and yeah, kind of like a certain criteria that is of interest. I think that ends my introduction on the Situation Manager. Again, this is I think a very powerful yeah, kind of like option now that we have here with the Situation Manager in terms of reviewing projects and also modifying situation names or modifying geo-file names or reorganizing how data is stored in the project. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.